Hi guys, in this video I'm going to talk about the UI aspects that I really like and that I always notice when I play a game. And here I will analyze everything I noticed from Persona 3 PSP to the new Reload version. Just remember that I won't talk about very technical things because I'm not that level of expert. In this UI check video series, I will start by comparing Persona 3 on PSP and how it evolved into Persona 3 Reload years later. Now let's get to the video. Title and settings. In Persona 3 Portable, we see a simple but beautiful screen. Detail. Remember that the PSP didn't have much visual space because of its screen. The difficulty settings aren't anything special either, just a list with the main character. The save screen is the standard one for PSP games, giving a nostalgic feeling. The settings follow a more basic style with striking colors. In Persona 3 Reload, the initial screens show more movement, more fluidity in the menu, with large letters that remember Persona 5. Note that Reload doesn't allow playing as a female main character, so the UI colors change significantly in certain places. The main menu is very beautiful, making it seem like the letters are floating in the sea where the protagonist is. The settings overall are also very nice, matching the rest of the game in a simple way. And now you can adjust the difficulty settings directly in the settings. And the saving process has changed quite a bit because you're no longer limited to the standard save format of PSP. And now it really looks more like a Persona game.
Must have been theft. Why would the burglar target this room?
Theft?
What else could it be? Someone clearly tore through the room looking for something. Vandalizing a school dorm.
Text and models. In Persona 3 Portable, the spaces again doesn't allow for much, but you can read the dialogues well, and the days are always displayed at the top, which is a very important thing in Persona. The choices section follows the same pattern as the previous texts. When information or tutorials were needed, they were displayed on a screen simply and quickly. Here we can see a group attack option appears, which you can choose to perform or not in a simple way with the text in black. In Persona 3 Reload, we see much more detail, even in the character illustrations, as well as in the text boxes and at the days at the top. And now they've added this weekday feature, which makes it easier to know what time of the day it is in the week. These texts look like the old ones, but with more space to work with. The information and tutorial sections resembles the old one, but with much more space, stylized text, and color on the button. Now, instead of the black text, they've made it easier by increasing the font size and using green and red colors to indicate the status of the action. Game states. In the Persona 3 Portable map, information is tightly packed, with all the buttons on one side and the map on the other. Now, when you gain an item and experience, the protagonist appears next to it, along with what you gained. When the persona level up appears in green at the top. When leveling up with a specific card, a line is drawn indicating your current level and showing the corresponding card. In Reload, the map is much larger, with titles and buttons in each region. Selecting a location provides a description of the place and its contents. This reminds me of Persona 5 again, with much more space and stylized lettering, even with outlines. When your persona level ups, the interface changes completely, becoming much more animated and matching the new spaces and graphics. In Reload, the level indicator is represented by stars around the card, and the ranking is much more visual. Stats and resources. Now we can see what the main menu looks like. Here we have a list of everything the player needs, and it shows the player levels and the equipped persona level. Here we have a list of the personas, also very simple, just with the name and the level of the persona with its picture next to it. Below we see some useful functionalities. On this screen we have more detailed information about the persona, showing its stats, level, skills and weaknesses. On the right is the skill that you will unlock when you reach a certain level. The team summary screen was extremely simple, and there you can see the skills of each character. Here would be the inventory, more specifically the place where you equip your equipment. It's also very simple, with some lists and icons differentiating one from another. On this screen you choose what to equip or not, with that diagonal arrow pointing down that indicates that the item deals less damage than your current one. I find this arrow a bit difficult to identify. Here is the store menu, which is resolved with 6 rectangles in a very explicit way, and with the money in the top right. The main menu in Reload has all the things you need in a list in the middle, in a disorganized but nice way with the background. And to the side you can see the 4 members of your group. The persona list is much nicer and more detailed, better showing your character and the types of the cards they have. Below still have the useful functionalities, but rearranged in a more subtle way. Now we have a cleaner screen to show your stats, levels, skills and weaknesses. The attributes are more visible, and they changed the way they talk about weaknesses and other stats that the persona can have. Here we had a complete visual change, but they kept the same information from the portable version when talking about your group. In this one too, the changes was very big, but the list with the new icons looks good. Now in Reload they solved the problem of the arrows, making them easy to understand by adjusting the position of the arrows as well as their color. Here they kept the rectangles, but this time in list format. They also kept the keep out thing, and the money is in the top right.
Only one enemy left! Give me a sec. I'll scan the target.
Menu and the interactions in the game. Here we have a radio menu with the actions the player can perform, and on the right the life and mana of the party. On the item screen, it's shown in a very simple list format, along with the quantity of items. Here they opted for a menu that looks radio but isn't. It has more text indicating what each option is. I think this makes it more direct than the previous one, and they kept the characters on the side. And on the item screen they kept the list but added more details like the icons and the word item written above.
Surrender your power. But the battle goes in shadows of mass. Only one left.
HUD and overlays. The HUD here is quite simple, showing only the map, your location, your character status, and the day. Here's the classic gun in your head for using abilities. In the landmarks and markers section, there are certain places or people you can interact with and access locations by walking around the map. Here they kept the original HUD, only adding more details to the map and placing a mission list on the right. In Reload, they kept the gun to the head and added many more animations and things that look really cool. Here we can see that they kept these markers indicating things the player can do. Plus, there's a map showing things you can do in the area, and there's also an alert for messages in the top left. Extras. For the extras, I included things like the social links list, which is quite basic, with each type, rank, and a bar showing your level in each type. And also the calendar, which was very simple and showed the phases of the moon. Now the social links screen is much more cool, without the bar showing the level and now with the numbers instead. The new calendar, in addition of the moon phases, has part-time jobs you can take and tasks for that day. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks!